And hello everyone, this is Dubious Physics coming to you from Satisfactory, right next to our brand new manufacturing setup. It's finally pumping out some extra reinforced iron plates, which is nice. And needs to divide up those reinforced iron plates, which is perhaps marginally less nice, but anyway, it's good to see you folks. Welcome to the tractor, which scared me once again with its driving noises, but is doing very good work. And welcome to all of you folks. Shout out to Novillian there in the chat. It's great to see you. Hope you're having a great day. Right, well, let's see here. Last I left off, I'd slapped a Miner Mark II onto this node to push it up to maximum output, where it's just at the smelter array, so it's smelting all of that iron into iron ingots. As far as this array goes, I believe we're utilizing all of the iron ingots now. Although not all of the output is being used. 40 screws, 120 screws a minute are being funneled in here to the assembler, which only needs half of that, and a significant number of iron plates a minute being funneled in across these two assemblers. This one needs 60 screws and 30, yeah, each of these need 30 iron plates, and they're getting 30 iron plates a minute out from their input. So each of these is producing 5 iron plates a minute. Now I need to split 4 iron plates a minute to run the smart plating assembler. Although, what I am going to do, since I no longer aggressively need smart plating, I might shut off this overclock. Really, this should be 2 assemblers. Okay, why am I... However, I am not producing rotors at an adequate rate, apparently. So what's happening there? The iron rod feed to the rotors is slow. It needs 20 iron rods a minute. Was it just a temporary blip? Doesn't appear to be getting enough iron rods. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Okay. This is producing 10 iron rods a minute. Well, these are being fed into screw production. Each of these machines is taking 1, 2, 3. Okay, 40 iron rods a minute. And back here we are producing 15, 15. Okay, up to 60. Okay, 20 iron rods. I think what's just happened is I just pulled the backlog from some of these machines, and it took a while for them to fill up. But that's just how manifold systems are a bit like that sometimes. But still, the exact 2/3 output rate bugs me. I wonder if I miscalculated something. I'll double check in a moment. And hello to Lelun! What is the finished product of the plant? Alan asks. Well, that varies a bit. There's always more, or, well, loosely speaking, always. There's a lot more stuff to add production of, whether in terms of quantity or new things. Right now, my goal is to automate the production of these 2 advanced resources. I mean, I can't produce them manually anyway, but I need to produce 2 more advanced resources, load them up into the space elevator, and send them up into orbit. So for the versatile framework, I need modular frames, that's one on the left, and steel beams on the right. Steel beams I'm already producing, although I'm not producing many of them. So I'm currently working on automating the production of modular frames, which is a little complex, or more complex than I'd like, but I've also been putting off automating modular frame production for this entire playthrough, so every 5 minutes you'll see me go, oh shoot, I need to make more modular frames. So, making perfect sense so far, I think, to get that modular frame production automated. And yeah, this is like many games in the factory genre. It's more of a kind of building up, kind of always building up to the next thing, using your existing production to build up new things. There are some set goals, like at the moment in Satisfactory, there are resources you need for certain bits of research. They're spread across, I think, 3 different. They're all essentially research systems where you feed a certain quantity of resources into things, and then you send them up. The main one is at your hub system. You basically punched up into the milestone terminal, and that researches you for the most part new buildings, but a few other bits and pieces as well. And that's where you get most of your major technology, like industrial technology. The one I'm working on at the moment is the space elevator project. The space elevator takes advanced resources, generally more advanced than the relatively simple resources that you put in the hub. Takes advanced resources that at the very least need an assembler, like need 2 different resources put together, and cannot be made by hand. The space elevator needs very large quantities of those resources, and we send them up to orbit to evidently support other operations in the system. Completing space elevator projects unlocks milestones in the hub. So you'll see here I've got 4 tiers of things that I've already completed the milestone research for, so I actually need to do space elevator stuff. Usually the gameplay loop is to do a bunch of hub projects and then send stuff up on the space elevator to unlock the next set of hub projects. And then the final... Actually, there are 4 progression things overall. But the third kind of critical one here is the MAM, which is the Modular Analysis Machine. The MAM mostly works... It does take some produce things, but it mostly works with stuff you collect from the environment, so it's a research machine. However, the stuff it unlocks is just as important as the stuff you research in the hub. So you get stuff from the environment, you plug it in to the MAM, and you get stuff like... I should probably review now the mini-map. Or the map, I guess, which I did not have before, so it's kind of really nice to have a map now. You can see that's my quartz site down below, elevation-wise, and then just this kind of mountaintop hell area covered in uranium, death, and hostile wildlife. There's the area I use for power production over here with the big lakes and coal nodes. And there's our Caterium extraction, which a tractor is dutifully ferrying over Caterium from. So, I have a map now. It's nice. Skyrim is also pretty nice. I can only say this from second-hand information, having never played Skyrim myself. It is something I perhaps should play at some point, but yeah, I hope you have been enjoying Skyrim. I mean, I'm guessing you've probably been enjoying Skyrim if you've been playing a lot of it. But, it's been a good time. Okay. This raw crystal is all processed up. I'm just gonna shut down this machine. These two machines are my little personal assemblers here. I just use them to automate minor things I'm doing on the spot. Oh, and there is a fourth progression system, which I'm actually going to take a moment to check. Basically, the system, most of the stuff it gives is optional, although that doesn't mean it's any less useful. It's strictly speaking optional, but it is actually pretty much just as useful as the other stuff. But it starts with the awesome sink here, which is basically, it's also apparently a research device, but the sink actually serves a very important factory mechanism, because you can have blocked outputs in a factory, and like you don't want a blocked output to stop, say, your power production. So sinks take excess resources, different resources, they break them down for analysis and then transmit data up. And apparently this gets us company credits, which are illegal for a good reason. But anyway, when it takes a lot of points, an increasing amount of points to get each coupon, but it's still a good idea to kind of sink excess resources, especially if they could clog up production, into these devices, and then you can print out the coupons, which I'll go ahead and do now, and plug them into the company store to buy essentially blueprints for things like different. Many of them are cosmetic, but some of them are functional to some extent. Like I've got ladders, which I had picked up already. You can get stairs, walkways, and railings, lights, and a control panel for the lighting, walls of various sorts, like with I think you have basic walls already, but you can get walls that you can feed conveyor belts through. They also work aesthetically for doors, as I understand, although you also have proper doors as well, windows and the like. Some of the more functional ones are attachments, like this mounts to attach conveyor belts to walls, which I'm going to pick up now, and attach pipelines to walls and hypertubes, as well as power outlets along walls. Those are pretty handy. And then different foundation shapes as well, which I do want to pick up if I can. Can I get the corner ramp pack? I think it'll probably let me add more things to more things than I have money for, though. And then there are some entirely useless cosmetic things, and you can also buy resources from here rather than producing them or extracting them. That's generally not a good idea, but if you have excess coupons, I suppose you may as well. But I'd generally favor getting the like the important useful things before then. Anyway, I'm gonna pick up all these blueprints for now, since I have the coupons. And then some things unlock with technology, like when I unlock Power Pole Mark III and like Mark III electricity delivery, I am going to unlock the wall mounts for that as well. So I'm not going to spend all the coupons right away. I'm going to save some coupons. I mean, I suppose it's perhaps an interesting way to describe it. I do largely agree there, but also a large chunk of the game is automating things, so you don't have to micromanage. So I guess I'm not sure how exactly that lines up with the notion of micromanagement. The idea is to get things set up correctly so that you don't have to touch it again and you can focus on new stuff. Okay, this is clearly not getting all the iron rods it needs a minute. It needs 20 a minute, and it's producing 67% capacity. What's wrong here? And hello, Extreme, as well. Now, Extreme is someone who likes to get all that calculating. Okay, we're producing 4. We're producing 60 iron rods a minute. We're feeding 10, 20, 30, 40 into these machines, right? 10, 20, 30, and 40 into these machines. Let me just double check here. Hang on a minute. I think I know what's happened here. You're not connected. Are you? Hang on. Just checking. This machine is unloading. This machine's unloading. Oh yeah, I got a tip yesterday. I can use the deconstructor to just quickly reference what's in a bit. Yeah, one of the iron rod machines isn't unloading. And I think I know this. This merger is oriented. The merger is oriented correctly. I think I'm just having the clearance bugs with the. Come on. Yeah, this is why I don't like having the mergers right in alongside the constructors. That's my mistake when building this originally. But I'm gonna have to break down the belts here again, I think. I'm surprised it didn't cause an issue with the other ones. Oh, I see. There was already a belt there, but it wasn't connected. Yeah, okay. I must have tried to do a clean replace of the merger before, and sometimes that doesn't connect things. Like I always have issues at this point. If I replace a merger, I have to fix that. Also, I think this is wrong. Could be wrong there though. This was working before, so how could it be? No, this is surely that's correct. This is confusing me. This is a splitter, right? These arrows must be displaying incorrectly. Because a splitter takes input from one angle and then distributes it three. I see. These are the arrows for the merger. These are the arrows for the Hang on, what's going on here? No. These arrows are confusing me great. Hang on, let me pull down the merger and okay, that looks better. Now let me get the merger built again correctly. Merger output feed 1, 2, 3. Come on, can I? I'll need to rotate it so it's clear. Otherwise, the overlap in the arrows will visually confuse me. That's better. Okay, and the belt speed is correct. Extreme. I did check that before, but nothing here exceeds the throughput of a Mark 1. Like the whole manifold here doesn't exceed the throughput of a Mark 1. Okay. This is now unloading. Glad to have that fixed. And those should now be... yeah. Alright. Also, thank you for the reverse callouts, Extreme. That took me longer than I should have to process the arrows. Right, it'll take a while for rods to start flowing through there again, but I should be able to double check that output is correct. Now, for the next problem, I need to take the output of these two assemblers, that's 10 reinforced iron plate a minute. I do indeed have the blade runners. Like they're one of my key quality of life targets, to have that you know, the move and jump speed, just not necessarily for even exploring, but just for getting over stuff in your factory. Otherwise, like when I slap a pipeline down, it suddenly becomes a major blocker and I have to put a ladder to get over it. So just having the blade runners to get around and get over stuff is super helpful. Yeah, my next major challenge is I need to automate modular. I'm finishing the steps modulating for automating modular frame production. Right here, I'm taking 4 reinforced iron plate a minute. I'm producing 10. I need to split off 6 iron plate a minute for the modular frame production. So that to run 2 machines. So I'll need 6 reinforced iron plates a minute. That'll be run with 24 iron rods a minute. I also need to do something with this, with these screws, apparently. But the setup will have excess screw and iron rod production. Isn't necessarily the worst thing, because I can actually use those in my own construction. But yeah, and I've done the run and slide extreme. As in, I know the maneuver. I don't use it much. But I know the maneuver. Okay, this is running at 40% efficiency. The stats should climb to 100% efficiency with a bit of time. We'll see. Now, in order to split 4 of 10, or essentially 2/5 of these reinforced iron plates off in an efficient manner, I could just run it through a manifold, but because these machines are produced so slowly, it'll actually take a very long time for a manifold to fill up. So I don't really want to manifold feed these ones. That's a point, Extreme. I actually didn't realize you could slide under pipes. So and conveyor belts actually. That's new to me. Thank you. That's an important thought. That's very handy, actually. Awesome. Okay. These should be done processing the iron ingots I had left over. Actually, if I put them all into one machine at a time, I can process those last 3 iron ingots. And then let me just break down these machines all together. They were processing the excess from some of the setup previously, but that's all been folded into the main factory. Now it looks a lot neater there, so I don't need these machines anymore. I will keep this industrial storage container full of iron plates, however. Very handy. And I'll pull down the sink as well. There we go. Clean that up. Yeah, having the dial to switch from things is really neat. Incidentally, the in update 5, you're going to be able to hit a category. It's just so nice for being able to put stuff into one hotbar. As nice as it is to have multiple hotbars as an option, I don't really like using things that way personally. Anyway, you're actually going to be able to hit that button not just to open up the dial, but to actually you'll actually be able to essentially toggle between things by tapping the button as well. That's planned in update 3. That seems like it'll be pretty handy as well. Okay, I'm kind of suddenly regretting not getting lights because it is a little darker than I'd like here, but then the moonlight is very pleasant. Okay, so the challenge now I need to split 4/5, or well, 1/5 essentially, of either one of this assembler production off, and that is that stymied me at the end of last run. Like last session, I just thought my brain wasn't working, but no, it turns out actually, having done some calculations and some research, there is no efficient clean way to do a 5 split, at least that I know of in Satisfactory. Oh well, no efficient and clean way. So the way I do it is gonna be efficient, but it's not gonna be a clean splitter. What I'm essentially gonna do is do a 6 split, and then use a feedback loop to normalize that, or to normalize it to a 5 split. I'll explain it a bit more as I set it up visually. This is not a critical assembler, so I'm just gonna break it down here. And take the output. I'll take the output of this belt, and I'll start doing the work. I kind of want to. I've kind of positioned things a bit awkwardly here, so that it's going to be difficult to easily hit things. The numbers for coal furnaces extreme are the lowest common clean multiplier for coal power plants is 8. 8 power plants will be fed by 120 coal a minute. So, hang on. Am I remembering that right? Should be, yeah. 8 power plants will be fed by 120 coal a minute. And 3 water extractors of water. I think that's 360 water a minute. Numbers for coal furnaces. I think each coal furnace takes 15 coal a minute. Actually, hang on. What's 15 times 8? 15 times 230 times 260. Yeah, 120. Okay. Yeah, 15 coal a minute, and the 40 water a minute, I believe. Anyway, but to do a 5 split, well, let's start by splitting this into 6. I'm gonna put the layout out here. I wonder if I might have to break down that ladder. I need the space. I'll have to go down at some point. Also, since I purchased it, I may as well what does a double wall outlet? Where would I put a double wall? Oh, I see. It's on both sides of a wall. Okay. But no, a conveyor wall mount. Okay, I see. Is there like a ceiling version? I would love a ceiling version of that mount that I could hang down off a ceiling. Oh yeah, the 15 setup. I've got a fairly similar 15 splitter setup, or at least I suspect it must be very similar. At the very least, it serves the same purpose. So I think that much is at least should be covered. But okay, it's the setup starts with a merger, and I'm gonna want to leave a clean spot for the merger. Okay, and merger output is going to be that way. And well, all our inputs gonna feed to this merger. Merger is then going to feed into a splitter, Is that the correct? Yeah, that's correct implementation. Splitter is going to split off into two 3 splits. And the cats say hi. And I need more space for this. I forgot that was why I broke things down initially. I want some space to work here. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the beams. I think they're both these will both for power plants and for belt arrangement. I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can do with those. Because right, honestly, my compulsion to not let power. I wish there was a neater way to deliver power. As nice as it is, and like I appreciate just the mechanical challenge of arranging power poles and such, but also it's driving me crazy, making sure none of this is facing the wrong way, making sure none of them clip into buildings and all that. It really does mess with me. Okay, output on the far side. There we go. This merger runs into a splitter. By the way, Navillian, if you're here, I believe you wanted an explanation of this. Right, before I make the space compact, I'll actually lay it out with a spot in between things. That way it's nice and clear visually. I've got a splitter here, and a splitter here. Hang on, let me space it out one splitter apart. Input from the side. There we go. Okay. So this is the simple and efficient but not clean 5 split. It's loosely speaking 1 to 5, but it can be really depending on how much you merge in anything to 5 or technically the input thing does have a. What clearance am I in? It's phasing into that building. Okay. So we're feeding in. Well, we start here by feeding in. That's essentially. Well, this is 5. This is probably the cleanest example. We've got 5 reinforced iron plate a minute. And now it's very important. This is all going to run with Mark 1s because our throughput is so low that it's important to note that the second belt in the setup needs to be able to handle up to 120% of your initial output, up to 1/5 extra. So it like if you're hitting the cap of a belt on your input, this needs to be the next belt up. But anyway, that's so we're feeding through. So we've got everything merged in here, and we're feeding through our input. Now, this essentially starts as a 6 split. So we split this off to the other splitters, and we've got 1, 2, 3 there, and 1, 2. Hello tractor downstairs, and 3 there. So it starts off as a 6 split, which you can cleanly do. And then what you then do is you feed the output of one of the belts. This is kind of the simplest way to understand it. You're feeding the output of one of the belts back into the first merger, eliminating the 6th output, so you have 5 outputs. Now, at first glance, this is definitely not clean, because at first glance, this doesn't split into 5 evenly, and that is that's also technically and you would be largely correct thinking that. However, the way that it happens is in between iterations, you're either going to have it's in between iterations, you're going to overload one output and then underload one output and overload. And basically, because of the feedback loop is going to oscillate the throughput of the various belts back and forth, and over enough iterations, it will average out so it is a stable fifth of the input, with the caveat that the middle belt here does have to handle your initial input plus up to 1/5 of the output that of the full throughput of the setup. So that's the general gist of things. The basic calculus, there's some basic calculus involved in processing it if you want to run the numbers and see that it does in fact trend to an even 20% output on each belt. But yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Now I'm going to make this a bit more compact, since I don't really need the spacing between all these. And I'm going to shortcut things a little bit with the opening merger, since I can merge the input of both of our. I may as well use it to merge the input of both of our assemblers for reinforced iron plates. Incidentally, Extreme, I guess you might also find that interesting. If you need to do a neat split to 5, you can use very similar principles to do a split to 7, say, if you end up needing that. And I think 11 is another one that's very tricky to do. Okay, so we've got 5 reinforced iron plate coming out of each of these, and I will start my merger. Let me just put this down for spacing purposes, and then I need to actually put down a merger. Merger outputs that way, no, that way, yeah. Here. Break down the splitter. Excellent. Now, I hope you are having fun figuring out the spacing for everything Extreme. Actually, finding space for things is one of my less favorite things in many factory games. It's actually one of the things I like more in Factorio, because as cool as Satisfactory is in its environment, one of the things I dislike to an extent about Satisfactory, I can understand why it is the way it is, and it is really neat the way that it is, but I don't, not the biggest fan of the fact that there's no terrain clearing, essentially. Good luck with your quiz, Extreme. Okay, so this merger is outputting 10 belts a minute. Just gotta feed it out to 2 emergence points with a splitter. Just make sure I'm placing the splitter correctly. When the colors overlap, it is a bit tricky. And then we've got. I can't actually compact things. Oop, the autosave interrupted my break. I can't actually compact things too close to that. Too close to that assembler without having space issues. So I'm actually going to change the orientation of this merger, and I need to remember to dismantle the feeding belts when I do that. Okay, so merger, merger, merger. Let's line up. I'm going to point it to the left. Wait, hang on. Why do I changed the positioning of this? Kind of. Well, if I'm pointing it to the left, then I can give it a bit more room. Like I can compact it a bit more. Okay. This is going to complain. Wait, is that a merger? I think that's a splitter. Yeah, that is a splitter. The merger. Okay, now that's correct. And I need to put this here, I think, before I move it around. There we go. Okay. Now we have our just gonna put split up blocks there to position things. I still need to arrange things out here a bit. And there we go. Doing our initial 2 split here. It is a bit annoying having things as meshed in as they are, but so be it. This output is going to be our 2/5. This output's going to be our 3/5. And this is going to feed back into the, hang on, boop, back into the merger. Now I think I can simplify the two. I think if my brain is working correctly, I can actually simplify the 2/5 because we're going to merge the 2/5 at this point anyway. So I might actually just do a belt feed. Belt feed over here. Come on, do. Right now that will start out taking half, but should over time drop to being 2/5. If the systems operate according to my brain processing. We'll be able to verify that in a bit. Speaking of verifying, let me see if the rotor production is going steady now. Yeah, 100% efficiency so far, steadily producing 4 rotors a minute, which is keeping our smart plating production going. Excellent. Okay, now right now this is kind of doing a 1, 2, 3 split. Well, right now this is just feeding into the machine. I need to throw down 2 assemblers for modular frames. Let's get that going. Assemblers, please. Thank you. Should I put them lengthways here or sideways? Probably still sideways. And I will need 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks of clearance at least. Okay, hopefully that's not clipping into anything. Just barely. And second assembler and that's it. Get them both hooked up to power. That is not a good way to get them hooked up to power if I want to avoid clipping, I guess. That's gonna need to be a power pole Mark II for future connections. Okay, each of these is going to need 3 reinforced iron plate and it's not reinforced. 3 reinforced iron plate and 12 iron rods a minute. So this should eventually be 4 iron plate a minute, and then we'll have 3 and 3 a minute coming out from here. Although those two outputs do need to be merged again. I wonder, can I simplify the way I'm thinking? And just merging those outputs, because the pull rate is going to be different. I don't think I can simplify without doing a merger again here. I am over simplifying in my brain. Let's get a splitter down here quickly. I'm pretty sure because this is dependent on the setup is dependent on pull rate, my actual I do actually need to set things up. I usually build as if I have like a perfectly evenly distributed setup. Okay, output of this merger, it's 1. That runs way too close for my comfort, but 1. Do they actually collide? They actually collide. Okay. This needs to pull from 2 outputs of that, and that means that assembler is too close. I'll have to reposition those assemblers. This pulls from 2 outputs of that, and we pull from the other 3 outputs on the other side. Hang on a moment. Nope, my brain's still not quite working yet. No, I have my side set up wrong. Grumble, grumble. Okay. Right, that was why my brain was simplifying, because I have the wrong side going. Well, it's not technically the wrong side. I could just run things around and over, but the 2/5 is where the side where I'm pulling 2/5 is where the feedback loop needs to be. So I need to find a way an easy way to get the feedback. I mean, there is an easy way to get the feedback loop into here. I just need to reorient all this. Pull down the merger, pull down the output, pull down the output here. Okay, fresh merger going up. And the merger now just needs to point to the right. Leave the belt mark 1 there, belt mark 1 there. And our feedback also goes to the merger there. Feed into the main splitter. There we go. Okay, so this is our full merged output together with an extra, up to an extra 5th, being able to handle at least 120% output. This should eventually drop to, on average, 0% throughput, and 2/5 of our output can run into, need another merger, run into that machine there. I think the merger works best on this end. So 1/5, 2/5, and that feeds into That should eventually be 4 reinforced iron plates a minute. On the other side, we have 3/5 output, which we can just pull. I'm pretty sure because of pull rates I shouldn't simplify out that splitter as much as I want to simplify out the splitter. Can I simplify out the splitter? That it's because it's telling I'm going to be pulling each 5th here and then merging it all together again. And I don't think the sorting actually depends on the pull rate. It makes sense for this side because we have to set up the feedback loop. Once the feedback loop is in place, like half and a bit less throughputs to this side, and the other half through half and a bit more should end up throughputting. So I think I don't need this splitter. I'm gonna regret pulling down that splitter, but I think I'm good. Right, assemblers. We can actually take some of the output of the splitter. I shouldn't take two. The key thing is I need to do is not take 2 outputs from that splitter. So I need to set up a separate splitter here. And Brain keeps trying to mentally merge networks, which actually breaks this, I believe. So, but I think the simplifications I put in should hold true. We'll be able to empirically verify whether or not the assemblers are working correctly anyway. Wait, do I need to... I put the splitter too further out than I needed to. Don't know why I spaced it an extra step out. Okay. That's first assembler. Come on. Are you lined up? I think so. Get the second one up as well. Get the power hookups done, this time cleanly to the same power line. Make sure they're both on modular frames. So they're taking input. Right, so this splitter, the only key thing is it needs to distribute half and half with a feedback loop balancing out to 3/5. Then you can feed 1 to there and 1 to there. And that essentially, this should end up being 2/5. 2/5 merged in, so 4 iron plate a minute, and the remaining 6 iron plates a minute should come out here, and should be split in between these machines, needing 3 iron plates a minute. Let's get this going quickly so I can hopefully read the efficiency values. I'll probably drain the iron plate extras directly from those so I can read those correctly. Right, iron rods. 24 iron rods a minute. We're producing significantly more than that here. 15, 15, and 15. I only need the output from 2 of them. But I'll probably want to bring it all over outside this kind of little valley of construction of conveyor belts anyway, so let's get the I'll get the mergers hooked up, pointed to the left. Okay, so we've got 15 minute coming out here. Yeah, the whole thing is only going to have to handle 45, so you don't need to use faster belts. And I need to feed these assemblers. Well, I can just put down a stackable ball here. Can hook up the output there. Do-do-do. And I need two stackable balls. I can't actually fit a right, the splitter is going to have to be up on top of the poles, but manifold feed for these should work fine. One, and oh boy. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to step this whole thing to the letting spaced out a bit, or step the assemblers back. It's actually going to be cleaner in the long run, I think, to step this array to the left. So I'm going to do that, or to the east. I think makes more sense. I'm just gonna make sure that actually works. There's a splitter. This last merger here feeds out that way. And does this yeah, okay, that belt does not collide, so that's good. In fact, that belt may actually look neater with this positioning. No, not quite. Okay, that's fine. It still looks reasonably neat. Connects up fine. I'll pull down this splitter. Da da da. Da da. That splitter. That conveyor. That conveyor. Okay. Splitter pointing this way. That splitter is responsible for splitting the 2/5. And the initial splitter taking the overall output. From the merger. And splitting it into two other splitters. This one, 1/5. 2/5, feedback. Feedback set up again, and I just have to pull down this output and step it further back away from the assemblers. I need to remember to do this in the future. Just make sure the assemblers have room if any belts I'm running past them. Just have room to fit elevators as well. Can I fit these past the elevator? Yes, I can. That's good. But I need it. Ah, that's too far out. One short of the foundation is what I need, and go. Okay. So, 3/5 should come out here, and 6 and be split in half. Assuming I remembered to connect everything. Yeah, okay. That should be functioning. Let's check now that both reinforced iron plate is working at 100%. Yes, they are. That's good. Feeding stuff into here, and then I can just attach a splitter to each of these. Approaching other people's... Ah, that's what I hate about putting splitters here. It always does that to me. Even though it lets you merge them directly with the belts, it doesn't let you then put belts out here. You have to step them back. Unfortunately, we're running belts under here, so that's not really an option. For now, though, I can simplify this a little bit, because I don't need a splitter attached to that one, so I can just feed it this way. But if I were to make this an expandable setup, that would be a serious issue. I do really hate aerial. Like, there are a lot of, I'd characterize them as glitches. There are a lot of aerial fluence glitches at the moment. And yeah, I feel you there, Extreme. I've never been comfortable with timed quizzes. Extreme says attach it on the belt ladder. I assume you mean connect it directly, which is what I did end up doing. But do let me know if you meant something different. Okay, so out here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 1, 2, 3 iron rod. Constructors producing at full tilt 45 a minute, splitting into 22.5 a minute each for these assemblers. There's gonna be some excess iron rods. I can probably redirect some from the splitter in the future if that ever becomes relevant. Ah, I see. You're saying to put the splitter directly on the conveyor, the stackable conveyor poles. I assume that would also work. The thing about putting splitters here is that it's blueprintable essentially. Like I don't think there's an automatic blueprint system in the game, but like if I were to make, you know, a manifold of 8 assemblers going that way, I could use the same setup for each one. Whereas if I split it in advance, I have to vary the setup each time. So it gets a bit more finicky. But still, that is sound thinking, so thank you, Extreme. Okay. Well, that's a significant milestone going on here. With all that said, because I now finally have I'm gonna actually move these conveyor poles. Or remove these conveyor poles for now, actually, because they will block the because this splitter is meant to split half the screws off as well. Yeah, thank you, Extreme. It actually bugs me when the game tries to, you know, snap to that for me, because it doesn't look that neat. But still, sound advice anyway. Right, I'm gonna take a bit of a break here. It's gonna be 5 to 10 minutes. Got to adjust the curtains so the sun isn't shining directly to my eyes, hydrate, all that stuff, and just do a little happy dance now that I have finally automated modular terminals. That's been, what, I don't know now, 3 months of me going, oh shit, I need modular terminals, let me put down a craft bench. So, that is a milestone to celebrate. It's break time. Do remember to take care of yourselves as well. Hydrate, stretch. That means you too, Tractor. Make sure you stay hydrated. Grab some food if you need to. You are absolutely worth it, and I hope to see you after the break. And we're back. Thanks for sticking around, folks. Alright, well, hope you're all doing okay. I have modular frame production automated, finally! Looks like the reinforced iron plate's coming in steadily, so that's good. And these machines producing 4 modular frames a minute. And the assembler has been working 100% output as well. Still comfortably getting, it seems like a bit more than 4 reinforced iron plate a minute. But That should level out comfortably. In fact, I think that is, having it fluctuate between 99 and 100 is actually probably the expected read there. This machine's getting fed alright. And excess iron rods and excess screws. Anyway, shout out to Casimir in the chat, by the way. It is good to see you again. Welcome to more Satisfactory. As the autopilot just absolutely belts it with the track, and I don't think I hold down. I am too scared to hold down the accelerator that much on the tractor. Okay. More assemblers are needed, because now I can finally put together something that throws together. I can't build over there, that's about as far as it goes. Right, I probably need to run it, run some belts around here. But it's time to actually formally produce versatile frameworks, I believe, is what we're doing. And some of these resources, I believe, will actually be used in future recipes eventually. Although often it seems for quite a while, a lot of the space elevator recipes don't have much for practical use initially. Okay, that's as far as I can get the foundation, close as I can get the foundations to the space elevator. Hopefully it'll let me build elevators close to it, because the game has a rather bothersome habit of not liking it not giving you decent vertical clearance. For what it's worth, Kaz, I am quite happy that I haven't gotten rid of you. It's good to have you around, buddy. Okay. Words. Okay is what I meant to say there. As I head through these main ramps, I'm gonna take a... Oh, hello, friend. You seem a little lost. Are you okay? They seem okay. I'm sure they're fine. Right. I should actually select the versatile framework. It's BNC. 2.5 modular frames per minute needed, and 30 steel beams per minute needed. I'm probably fine. I could build multiple. Okay, we can support one with our current modular frame production, and that's fine because having a backlog of modular frames is nice for other purposes. So I am perfectly content with that. In that case, I should do a modular frame feed with a siphon. Slowly dying from exposure to industrial byproducts. That's a point. Although most of these machines at least seem. But oh, there are two of them. I didn't realize that for a bit. There are two. I've never seen two of them in one place before. I will leave the question of what they're doing there then, and get back to work on versatile frameworks. Mitosis is a possibility. Okay, so we've got our sinks, quick wire funneling here, got a very full container of quick wire, that's nice. So I'm going to need 2.5 out of 4, or 3 out of 8 of the, sorry, 5 out of 8 of the, modular frames. I might as well just set it up with an extra overflow feed, honestly, and see how it goes from there. And steel beams. Where in this setup am I producing steel beams? Here we are. I am currently producing 15 steel beams a minute to feed into an assembler that needs 15 steel beams a minute. I'm probably going to have to reroute some of the steel pipe production over here, now that I no longer need, immediately at least, need to spam hypertubes. I suppose I'm also going to probably plonk regular person like, maybe I should put a ladder down whenever I put an elevator down, because I know I'm going to leave a space there. I think that makes some degree of sense. Okay, that ladder isn't amazingly placed. Let me try and fix that. Can I dismantle the ladder I'm currently on? Yes, I can. Okay. That was probably a terrible idea, but I guess I'm glad to know you can do that. Is that the right placement? I don't think that's the right placement for a ladder. Needs to be a little bit higher, I think. Actually, that does work. As long as I back down. As long as it's functional, I suppose. I thought the handlebars had to be a bit higher, but no, it seems to work. Okay. Got a ladder there. Right. So, assembler. It's a question of where exactly I should put it. I'll probably have, there's not that much more space here, but maybe here is where I'll have steel beams coming up, so I will plonk the assembler essentially half a foundation away from it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should leave enough space to work with for feed into the assembler. And let's set that to versatile frameworks. And also get it powered. What's the nearest power pole? Here we go. So, it needs 30 steel beams a minute, 2.5 modular frames a minute. I can provide the modular frames, no problem. Let's get a merger manifold. I don't know if it's actually technically still called a manifold for output. It makes me... That's probably weird that I don't know that off the top of my head. I'm not sure what my brain's doing today. Anyway, I'm sure it's fine. Belt that round here. Take it straight down the edge here. We want it past the industrial container. 1, 2. Actually, I will want... I'll build the belt from this end so I know where it needs to be lined up. And congratulations, Extreme, on doing, hopefully, quite well on your quiz. May your successes continue. Woo, modular frames! I suppose that I'll happily get those in my storage from picking up the off the line. All right, so we've got 4 modular frames a minute coming down here, feeding into the machine. I won't do anything fancy with the overflow just yet. I'll just pull the overflow from the machine. And I need 30 steel beams a minute. Means I'm going to swap. Now, steel beams need 60 steel ingots a minute. Okay, so a single steel beam output takes half of our... Right, okay, so the next steps are going to be more steel output. Woo, fun times. Okay. So, foundry... each foundry can produce up to 40... process up to 45 iron ore a minute. We are currently putting out 120. To get a multiple of 45. 45, let's see, it goes to 180. Is 240 a multiple of... I don't think 240 is a multiple of 45. It would be a clean... I'm thinking of a clean multiple, because the next step up here is 240, and then, yeah, 225. Do I want to just do 225 downclocked? 360 is I believe the one clean multiple. So essentially I'd have... Well, essentially I'd have 2 Mark II miners, and... could I even process 480? Screw it. Right, miner Mark II, let's go. Yeah. I slightly overclocked miner Mark II would also work. I suppose, or a miner Mark II and a miner Mark I. I might do that for now, actually. Let me just get an equipment workshop down. I need some portable miners. Or just a portable miner should do. And... a miner Mark II. Oh, the second... right, it's a miner Mark I originally. So make another portable miner for the Mark II. And I actually have the modular frames for this for once. Let's run the wire for that over there. Okay, so it's gonna put out 240 a minute. Plus another 120 for 360 iron ore a minute. And I am going to try and turn that all into... Oh, actually I can't, because I am getting 200... Right, I am capped at 240. I'm capped at 240 because I'm getting 240 coal a minute pushed down, and, well, some of it needs to be transferred into, a little bit of it needs to be transferred over to the truck there. And for that matter, I should double check how much concrete I'm making. Wait, no, I don't need concrete for most of the steel products. We're good for now. So we're getting 240 coal a minute, and that's our reasonable cap. So what I'll probably end up doing then is yeah, I'm going to get a single miner Mark II here. Single miner Mark II here. Gonna downclock it to 225. Iron ore a minute. And we're gonna process that with 1, 2, 90, 135. Well, you can go up to 100%. Come on, Foundry. 180 and 225. I may need to break down those things there for neatness. Also, I need to pull down this power line, evidently. Make the link elsewhere. I'll make the link here for now. Pull down this power line so it doesn't clip. Yeah, you can edit the output value there, Extreme. The number fields once you unlock the overclocking tech, you only need you can downclock without power cores. Downclocking is actually more power efficient per output even. It's just less space efficient. But if you're really constrained with power, you can just throw out a bunch of downclocked machines and technically get the same or even more output for less power. But anyway, you can actually edit the values here. It'll even take basic arithmetic, which I'm actually slightly concerned about, because I assume that means the game's evaluating number values. Hopefully it is nice clean in-engine evaluation, but that is that is potentially cause for concern. Also, Kaz, so what are your game ideas about cooking? Steel ingot smelting, and this is smelting at full tilt. So 30, 30, 30. That needs 90. Wait, hang on. Right, that value is... No, it's the same value as the iron ore, so we'll need 25. So we still have 15 coal a minute, and that should be enough to supply the truck. I'll know if I'll probably remember to check the truck if I end up having supply chain issues. And we'll pull down these stackable conveyor poles so that we don't block things here. Okay. I am going to upgrade this to a conveyor belt all of this to a conveyor belt Mark III, because, well, it needs it. Wait, what's going on here? Why did I upgrade to a conveyor belt Mark III? Is there like a dud conveyor belt line in there somewhere? Because if so, I need to fix it. If it's not disrupting output, I don't want to have to also pull apart that whole thing. Yeah. Oh, I see. It's asking me if I want to build a fresh conveyor belt Mark III. No, I don't. Upgrade that line output, please. Right, because that one was actually patched in, but it has weird behavior. But at the moment, it's still working. So, there is that. I'm gonna need some steel beams. for more conveyor belt Mark IIIs. Let me just grab a fresh stack of steel beams from here. I am also going to need to shove this iron ore into something. Smelter! That's fair enough, Kaz. I'll remember to ask you on the Disc Orb at some point. And yes, Extreme, like while SQL injections and code injections, like via web forms, are the classic, any point where you evaluate a code that happens to be user exposed can be a very serious problem. So it is overall quite good that they're teaching you about it. Okay, conveyor Mark IIIs. Before I was distracted. What am I even... Conveyor Mark IIIs. Did I not? Oh, right, my inventory was full. I was feeding iron ore to things. Right, yes, steel beams. And steel beams from here. Thank you. And I may as well top up my stack of encased industrial beams. Yeah, well, that's all, as far as I can tell. Granted, I'm not really an expert on the educational side of things. As far as I can tell, that is good stuff to be learning about Extreme. So, yeah. I hope it goes well. Okay, so that coal feed should be coming in at up to 270, i.e. up to 240 based on the input. Let's mark the iron feed as well. Into each smelter. And I also need to do the power hookups for the two new smelters. Okay, splitter time. Let's see, we've got a feeder splitter here. This one's actually properly spaced out, which is nice. And okay, the input looks correct. Looking for 2 connector lines. 1. Oh, come on. Is it not giving me the connector line for this one? Why is it not, I wonder? With my elevation? Sometimes these are a bit finicky with elevation. Let me go stand on another one. Oh, that's odd. Well, I'm going to have to eyeball it a little bit then. Okay, these can be fed by Mark 1 conveyors. So they are only ever going to take 45 a minute. And just run Mark 3 down the whole manifold. Excellent. And hello, Opal and company, including once again Extreme. Good to see you folks. How was The Witcher, Opal? I hope it was a positive highlight on your week. Sounds like many of us could use a bit of a plus in our week. Okay, I am gonna have to break down these belts to feed in the coal here. Fortunately, I have the inventory space. Right, get the splitters set up. That's the correct angling. That's the correct angling. Except, right, these have to be spaced out, so no, I need to plonk it down. Here. Boop. Boop. Pull down the lower two. And try and line it up there. Boop. I'm glad Witcher 3 went well. Hopefully, hopefully there was much positive murder. And okay, answering questions in hopefully workable sequence. Extreme asks, couldn't you just have used the existing belts and plonked the splitters out and then put a small belt in? Part of the issue there is that they wouldn't necessarily have aligned correctly, which is a big issue for me. Sometimes the belts will still connect, but the alignment won't be ideal, and at the very least that'll bug me. Sometimes it'll actually mess with the belt function. And then two is the big kicker, is that I very often have issues with belt function when I when I plonk in a splitter or a merger on top of an existing belt. So unless I'm just doing it for one thing, I find it's almost never worth setting that up without also pulling down the surrounding belts and then rebuilding them, which is why I'm generally so reluctant to do it. So yeah. Right, let's get these connected up again. Mark 3. Should be able to test if this is being fed coal. It's not. Okay, I need a Mark 1 connector to complete the coal feed. There we go. I'm also going to dump the coal I pulled off the line into this. Mark 3 over there. Sometimes if they're close enough, the game just decides these auto-connect, which is why I wasn't sure if I needed that. Alright, coal is being fed. Steel is being smelted. Final belt connection. This one seems to have auto-connected, or perhaps used an existing one. A little inconsistent. Oh, right, this was an existing connector, so I would have built it anyway. So yeah, smelting's going. Excellent. And positive murder. Excellent as well. Right, now to hook up the manifold output. 45 steel ingots a minute. Also, a cat says hi. Hey kitty. Saying hi to the stream? Or also just being a pest? Okay. Such is the life of cat. Right, let's get these mergers hooked up. Merger output to the right. Yep. Merger output for 2 more smelters. That is misaligned. I don't know why I thought that was correctly aligned. Okay, now, merger output for 2 more smelters. Maybe someday cat seeing will be a thing. Maybe. Okay, this whole manifold will have to handle up to 225, so I started not bothering about breaking down the individual belt things, because it just thinking about the maximum throughput of the whole manifold helps keep things consistent and upgradable as well. So it's worked out a lot better. Okay, 225 between these two as well. This is taking 60 steel ingots a minute. Need to remember this once again, this whole manifold needs to handle 225. Okay, so in multiples of 60, of 225. So that means I can probably have 3 machines on steel beams with a leftover 45, which is enough for two and a half machines on a steel pipe. In fact, what I might do here, what I might end up doing here is I'll probably go ahead and steel beam machine over on the left. That's nice because I'll probably leave these 2 machines on steel beams because I need to funnel the on steel pipes because I need to funnel the beams up to where I am. So that's 30 on pipe, and I'll scale this one down to 50%. So we'll set it down to 50%, and that should update in a moment. At least when I pull some steel pipe out of it. Okay, so this is going to draw 45 steel ingots a minute, with an overall draw of 95 steel ingots a minute. 225 minus 95 will leave us with 225 minus 95 should leave us with wait, is that 140? Am I miscalculating? 60. Another 30, 90, oh, and 105. 225 minus 105 leaves us with 120 steel ingots a minute. And let me just plonk down those constructors. 1 and 2. That's enough to run 2 steel beam constructors, which will provide the 30 steel beams a minute needed for a single versatile framework assembler. And thank you, Extreme. Although, are you certain about the 130 value? I guess we're not perfectly synchronized up. And yes, Extreme. Sorry, yes, Kaz. Let me just work on that. It is distressing. I put down like a pillar. But let me work on that a little bit more. Need a pillar top, pillar foundation, and just pillar. There's more supports, and I kind of want one in the opposite corner, but the upper level isn't spread out enough for it. I am Okay, that was for the 225 minus 95, which means 225 minus 105 is correct. Thank you for verifying the arithmetic, Extreme. That may not have necessarily been your intention, but thank you. There is indeed no ocean dystopian space capitalist future. That is true. Now my new problem is that cables are clipping through machines again. Let's see. Can I have a power line? What would I need to have this power line not do any clipping? I'm so looking forward to being able to hook up power lines to the ceiling. Okay, breaking down this power line. because it clips into things. This one's actually okay, as much as it looks like it maybe should clip. Let's make this a power pole Mark II. Makes it slightly taller. Maybe the extra height is enough to avoid any clipping. Okay, in the most technical, maybe pedantic sense of the word, it does not quite clip, but also there's no way in hell that is electrically safe. Like, if any significant voltage would be arcing, but maybe I let it slide for now. Maybe. Maybe, you know what? I'm putting down on the power pole. Get these connected up. That means I have a few more connection options for the other machines. You should go there, you should go there. Excellent. Still got pipe manufacturing going on here, that's fine. And I need these to be putting out 30 steel beams a minute. Conveyor splitters. Hook it up, please. Input on the left. Okay, we need a Mark III conveyor for this whole manifold. And then a Mark I should be able to feed the 60 steel ingots a minute these machines need. I'll take the steel beam output from these, and I may have to shift the power poles because they are slightly too close to the machines, which may also make cables clip again. It's going great, guys. Power poles, let's see. This... Ooh, okay, that's the closest I can get them to the space elevator as well. Space elevator clearance for rearing its ugly head. In fact, I'm gonna move this whole row of power lines back if I can. Okay. Back. Back. And back. This one's not connected to anything. This one's connected to 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll pull it down and redo the connections. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That looks okay. They want to start. I'll just move the whole row back right from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that look okay on the smelter? That might look a bit more awkward on the smelter. That's actually okay. And then connect to this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks okay. really need this one for anything now. Maybe I don't. Okay, connect back here. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 back there. 3 and 4. Okay, so all the power hookups looking okay, and these machines are also powered as well and making steel beams. Good. Now I need to harness the output and send it upstairs. Can I actually build an elevator? It's too close to the space elevator, I'm guessing. But how close can I get away with? Let's see. Okay, I can get away with an elevator here, interestingly enough. Unfortunately, I think the power line cable might clip into it. One light is orange, like it's not hooked up towards the middle. Are you referring to this machine which has a full output extreme? Perhaps. This one is, these machines are just making stores of steel pipes for me at the moment, and I'm just drawing from their output. The other one's green because I recently pulled a stack of steel pipes. Okay, I'm gonna run another power pole over here. I'm going to connect these power lines like that and break down this line. And we'll roll with that. So, I think I could possibly get away with burying steel beams up. Oh, okay, now the power lines don't absolutely clip into it though. Fine, I'll run them up another way. Maybe over here would work. It fits. It fits. Okay, I can run them. The space elevator is going to be annoying, but it's going to work. Right, let's get the mergers going. Get the cables set up. Output left, output left. That's 15 steel beams. This is all going to fit into Mark 1s. Okay, we need to get around this corner. No, not quite. Conveyor pole needs to be a bit further out. Let me just build the conveyor pole explicitly and then hook the conveyor up. Okay, that's set up. Now, and can I? Okay, if it's oriented this way, it doesn't clip into the power line. Also, that is not OSHA compliant, however. So, a little further out. One step further out. And you're facing that way. Up. Can I keep this whole thing selected while I climb a ladder? I think I can, so I can check the alignment on the other end. And yeah, I get that quite frequently from Twitch as well. A default rate limiter. I'm pretty sure that's a default rate limiter, so that unfortunately there's not much anyone can do about it. Although it's not exactly... It's not the harshest mistress. It's probably fine. Okay, if I loop this... Right. I probably actually want this modular frame belt elevated and going to the far point so that... Or I could so that I don't have to run the steel beams around the other side of this machine. This isn't exactly the most elegant setup for now, but I suppose it works. Okay, let's point it that way, and Mark 1 hookup. The belt is too long. Yeah, I figured that much, I suppose. Or expected that much. Fortunately, this makes it look neater anyway. And... whoop. Okay, that should get the modular frames. Modular terminals or something else entirely. Bit flowing in nicely. Get the Mark 1 belt around this edge as well. And that should be the steel beams. That elevator's not hooked up, is it? Oh, right, I extended it a little bit, so it needs to be hooked up that way. And while I'm at it, let's put a ladder over here. I try to minimize the number of ugly clutches I stack on Kaz, but yeah, it tends to be. I am never as neat in these games as I would like to be. But also such is life, I suppose. Okay. Do we have extra room on any of these sink inputs, I wonder? At least one of these sinks is working at absolutely maximum throughput, which is why I have two sinks here. And I think it's actually this one, which means having a merger in here doesn't really help. Interestingly enough. I wonder if I can adjust which belt I'm connecting to each thing. Yeah, I do have Mach 3 belts extreme, and these I suppose it's not actually working at the maximum throughput of a Mach 3, so the merger in here works out, but it's more than it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 360 a minute. So I have to split it at least a little bit. So one of those is split at 240. And so it does have a little overcapacity to merge in. Anyway, I won't worry too much about the overflow from this immediately. What I will get going, however, is the feed to the space elevator. Let's get a conveyor lift hooked up. Is that? I think that is level. So we'll go 1 up, 2 up, 3, 4 up. And let me see if it actually lets me connect to these. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay, I think that's alright. Can I convey a pole here? 1, 2. And yeah, that's the problem. The space elevator vertical clearances are such a pain to deal with. Even though it lets me put the conveyor lift there, it won't actually let me hook anything up to it. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that it should work from there. E4. And I can hook it up there. Now, unfortunately the conveyor lift is the wrong way around. Ah. Space elevate, why? Okay, let's put it up from this end. Hang on. I probably should plonk down... Yeah, I have to plonk down the upper end first. And then connect this, link it. So I guess that does make it a little easier though. Okay, up the elevator we go. And from this end... Can I connect it to the... I'll actually move the conveyor poles a little away, I think. And just need to hook up the output from this end as well, pointing that way. Ooh, and I think that looks fine. Yes, that looks fine. Versatile frameworks, go! And hello, Sadiablo. Arrived just in time for this milestone, so it's going fairly well. I'm being messier than I would like, but that's pretty much just me in a nutshell, not just in video games. Yeah, it's good to see you. I just got finished automating a line for versatile frameworks and a bunch of the prerequisites, meaning now 2/3 done with automation for the next space elevator requirement. Granted, it'll take I think I need like 300 of these, so it'll take like an hour for the 500. It'll take a couple of hours to manufacture enough. But that's not the worst. Not the worst. Now I have a bunch more steel beam production, comparable steel pipe production. That is good. Now the next step would be to automate the production of automated wiring. I already have cable production. Let me see how much excess exactly. Because I'm storing a lot of it and sinking the rest. I mean, I don't think I'm actually using the cable output for anything at the moment as well. Yes, okay, so I'm producing 30 cables a minute. Siphoning off 20 of that should not be a problem. That's 2/3. Automating everything is indeed the name of the game, or not quite literally the name of the game. Maybe. I'm not sure of the exact etymologies behind factory. Let's see here. Transportation. What am I looking? I need to get one more. Let's plonk down an assembler and I can review the exact rate requirements. Okay, I need to make stators, which will take 3 steel pipes a minute and 8 wire. So I'm gonna siphon off the copper line here as well. I'm producing 1, 2, 3, 4 machines of wire. So I'm producing 120 wire a minute, and I am consuming 60. So I've got just a spare 60 wire a minute. It's currently going into storage because I need that for building buildings and stuff. But I can easily siphon off some of that. In fact, I could put down 2 assemblers, essentially 1.5. One would be downclocked to half, and use my full cable output if I wanted to. That would also be a possibility. Would have to rejuggle a bunch of this, but it would not be unworkable. Okay, so I'll be making use of some of the space around here. But I can't go under those belts, so I guess I should block them down over here. Let's see, 1 assembler, and a 2nd assembler that I'll downclock to half. They can be powered off this line. Much difficulty, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I need to make stators first. Right, so how much is going on here in the way of steel pipe production? Okay, even the small machine is making 10 a minute. I'm just gonna siphon that over. Actually, how many stators a minute do we need for automated wiring? 2.5 stators a minute, and 1 assembler can make 5. Okay, so yeah, 2 machines worth of automated wiring production is fine, or should be fine to support based on current infrastructure. Like, I will have to downclock 1 to half, but that should be completely fine. And stators. I need 1 machine worth of stator production. Just smack down an assembler here and take a look at the requirements. Again, 15 steel pipes a minute. That's half my current output, no problem. 30 steel pipes a minute would... Hang on a moment. Did I forgot to bring up the recipe again. Oh, that's fine. Let me pull up the codex. Okay, 5 a minute. So 15. I can make 5 a minute. Yeah, 15 and 40. That should be fine. Diablo asks how long I've been playing this for. I have been playing Satisfactory on and off. I think I was introduced to it maybe 5 or so months ago now. It's a fun game. But yeah, this particular session, I can actually measure the exact playtime, I think. The exact playtime of this game, like this game has playthrough, has been... That seems a little low. It's been 5 hours, 39 minutes. That does seem a little low. I wonder how accurate that is. That I'd ballpark it more at around 10 or so hours gone into this playthrough. It's still early in the game yet. I'm just starting to fabricate more advanced stuff for the space elevator. Okay, I need to ferry 15 steel pipes, half of the steel pipe output. Or I can just pull the output of the big steel pipes for now. I need to vary that into a single assembler. And I might actually rotate these assemblers around. See where I can fit them comfortably. Okay, if I put it here, I don't think it interferes with anything. 2, should be fine. Although I'll start with a single assembler, then it's actually I need 2 assemblers in a row over here. Room for things 1, 2, 3, 4. And a second assembler for that set. Adjacent. Make sure they're both powered. And these will both be on automated wiring production. 1, 2, I'll down clock 1 by half. Some of the positioning for this may be a little awkward, hopefully not too much so. But let me actually start off by verifying that I can get the outputs I need for this lined up the way I want to. I think they may need to be further apart. Shoot. Further apart or a little more to the left. One, two, okay. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, so that the belts themselves light up. That makes it a little easier to handle. Power lines. Make sure that doesn't clip into anything. Okay, and this is going to have to be a splitter. That's why I wanted space between those two. Taking input this way. Ah, yes, I see why my brain was telling me they needed to be further apart. Well, because they do need to be further apart. So that there's room to fit the overhead feeders as well. So let's see, line it up, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a further 1, 2, 3, 4. Just verify that this is a straight connection. Yep. This doesn't collide into anything back here. And logistics. This is going to have to be a split feeder. Let's see if it will let me use splitters the way I need to. Nope, encroaching other people's clearance. So I do need. Good thing I moved it out as well, because I do need to put the splitters a bit further back. Right there is. Okay, out here I think is correct. 1, 2, 3. Hang on, how far does that clip it? I mean, it's further out, actually. So that could be correct. Wait, where is this belt feeding from right now? Okay, that's definitely not behaving the way I want it to. As this is directly in 1 step, 2 steps. I think that's what's needed. Line it up. And 1 step further. 2 direct feeds. Neither of them are going to need more than a 50 cable a minute. Should be fine. Actually, that's a good point. How much cable am I producing a minute again? I'm producing 30 cable a minute. Okay, I will need more cable production. So I think I'll actually be able to reroute all of my wire production into these. That's good to know. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But to answer the original question I wanted to ask with that check, yes, I can feed the cables into those with a Mark 1. And now can I hook these two together? Yes, I can. Okay. So the cable feed's ready. I just need to feed at least 100 cable through that. And then 2.5. 2.5. Well, 5 rotors to these splitters should do. That's definitely within the boundaries of throughput a Mark 1 can handle. Tangentially, Sa Diablo, if you don't mind by asking, how have you been? I've managed to catch 1 or 2 of your streams as of late, but yeah, I hope things are going well in the realm of teamfight tactics and all that. May as well have the downclocked one be the first in the manifold. Actually, I think that will help the manifold fill out quicker. Although that might be the opposite of the logic I need. I'm not certain at this point. Okay, let's go feed 15. Oh, that's a good point. I can't feed all the wire into cable production because I still need some of it. I need 8 wire a minute for the stators. Fine for now. Let's go and grab the output of steel pipe production. 1 and 2. That should be, I think, 20 and 10 for a total of 30 steel pipes a minute. We need like 3, was it? Or should be fine. I am uncomfortable with how close those cables are to the conveyor elevator there, but they are technically not clipping. Can I put an elevator here without it looking too awkward? I.e. clipping into cables. Yeah, that's fine. In that case, I'll just link these directly. So we need 15 steel pipes a minute, we're getting double that, it's fine. So to produce, if I want to produce exactly 50 cables a minute, I need to downclock one of these by a third. So 60 plus 40, I need 100 wire a minute. That leaves me with 20 spare wire. Okay, well, I'm probably going to cut down this whole sinking setup, just so I have room to put cables in, and I can rebuild the sink if I need it later. But right now, if production kind of stops here, it doesn't stop the production of anything else. So these are not mission critical sinks. And those storage containers of build materials are nice and full. So that's that at least has largely served its purpose. Okay, pulling down all those belts I juggled back and forth. Pull down the sink as well. See a bit more room to set up cabling out here. Right now, I don't know that I want to... Okay, I don't actually want the copper sheets and cables merging right now. And I think I'm going to need another... yeah, I'm gonna need two constructors for... stuff TM. For cables, there we go. I'm also going to need a power pole. Probably back over here. Connect that. And connect you to there. And two machines need to be powered. And actually a third machine needs to be... So you need to be a power pole Mark II. There we go. Set you to make cables as well. Now the first machine to be fed the manifold setup. Will be the downclocked one. I'll actually feed it directly through here, I think. That'll save a bit of space. So you should be downclocked to make 20 cables a minute. Merger here. I'm just going to redirect the merger and, well, reorient. I've got to replace these things while I'm at it. Okay, merger, pointing there. That looks correct. This whole manifold handles up to 120, and so the main bus should be conveyor Mark IIs. Let's get that set. 1, 2, and yeah, the consistency almost threw me there, so I think it's good that I'm standardizing at least the bus rate of these. Let's get that good old splitter hook up again. Here with a conveyor Mark II. Each of these needs at most 60 a minute. That's within the realm of a Mark 1. Yeah, the main bus should be a Mark 2. So that's consuming, and gonna grab some cable out of this. There we go. The numbers are adjusted. 40 wire a minute and 60 wire a minute, drawing 100 wire a minute, leaving a spare 20 coming out the end there. And I need to move this power pole Mark II, I think. Yes, I need to move the power pole. Dang it. One, two, there, 3, 4, and 5. That was all the connections, relying on that. Okay, so we've got copper sheets backed up here. That's fine for now. I don't really want to transfer them to anything just yet. I could redirect this merger if I wanted. But that 50 cable a minute is just enough to sustain our needs. Right, so let's set up the mergers for the cable output. That doesn't need to go anywhere else as well. Go to the right and point out this way. So this is 20 a minute, 30 a minute, for a total of 50 a minute. And we're gonna have issues with intersecting with a bunch of the existing stuff, so let me just add some more hookups. I think that actually makes it look a little neater, even. Okay, that should be the cable feed for these. And remaining wire feed for status. I'm actually going to put a smart splitter here, because our numbers aren't exactly even. So let's get a smart splitter over here. 1, 2, 3. And have the left side output be overflow. And we'll put the overflow wire, which will come out to a maximum of, assuming all production backs up, it's a Mark II, 120, yeah, okay, Mark II. Wire there. Kind of wishing I had another sink to put in there now, but that's it's not worth going to a bunch of extra trouble for that just at the moment. Some extra conveyors I didn't pull apart there. Okay, wire feed needs to run into this. Let's try and run this as close to existing walls and the like as possible. if it's not too messy. Okay, I'll put down the conveyor pole here and remove the smart splitter. The smart splitter repositioning, input there. Okay, once again, conveyor Mark 2, conveyor Mark 2, Mark 2, and the left side is overflow. Right side should be any. Okay, there we go. And once that backs up, more of the wire should just go into storage. Maybe I should do something similar for the steel pipes here. But for now I can just pull steel pipes out of this assembler when I need them. Since we only need 8 wire a minute, this Mark 1 should be fine for that line. Let's see how versatile framework production is going. The elevator seems relatively quiet, but then it only makes one versatile framework every 12 seconds or so. Well, I could actually check at the space elevator how the production's coming. Yeah, it's slowly getting there. What's the output storage size for automated wiring? I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out at some point. Okay, well that line is coming online, I should go take a look at the MAM. Extreme says it looked like 2 different belt speeds coming out of the smart splitter. It's an astute observation that is entirely intentional. The smart splitter is an overflow splitter. We'll probably only ever have 20 wire a minute coming out of our wire production once some has been siphoned off into cables. But in the event that and then we only ever need 8 flowing down this line, so this only ever needs to be a Mark 1. You mean the long one, not storage. That's also an astute observation. That one should just be a Mark 1. But yeah, this is a Mark 2 and this is a Mark 2 in case a bunch needs to flow into storage. There we go. Extra astute observation extreme. Thank you. It did look funny, but that's often how a lot of the glitching looks, so I didn't think anything of it until you pointed it out. There we go. Well, the state of production is going at 100% efficiency. That's good. Wait, no, this needs 40 wire a minute. What am I thinking? Not 8. Right. That complicates things a little bit. It's running at 100% efficiency from now, I think, off the backlog. But it's not quite, the values aren't quite balanced out. But yeah, I'm drawing 40 plus 60 wire. It's only putting out 20 extra wire, which means I may need to amplify. I may need to amplify production, but for now I'm just going to downclock it, I guess. Or did I downclock it? It's not going to. It's not really going to draw anything important more than it should. It'll just run out of wire sooner. But for now, automated wiring is being made. That's good. I'll figure out what the max stack size is at some point, and that'll also end up being funneled into the mighty space elevator. But for now, well, that is going to be it for the stream. Automated wiring has indeed been automated extreme, although values aren't quite balanced yet. But I'll take it. I'll probably have to. It's probably time I made the copper extraction a miner Mark II, and that's going to result in me having to process a lot of copper ingots and everything. So, woe is me for an abundance of resources, I guess. But anyway, I am going to wrap things up for today's stream. Thank you very much for watching, folks. It's been a great time as always. Thanks for the conversation. Hope you are all doing well and continue to do so. Okay, now, let me see if there's anyone I can send you folks along to. Just a moment. Oh yeah, and also extra thanks to Black Opal Dragon for the raid. That's very much appreciated. Pick an arbitrary. Is anyone playing? Satisfactory. Let's see, come on, get me the Satisfactory channel. Twitch, Satisfactory channel, no, Satisfactory category. Game, thing, Twitch. I will pick an arbitrary channel to send you folks along to, and well, hope you get to watch more Satisfactory. Okay, that should work out passably. Thanks once again. I should be streaming more Satisfactory tomorrow. We'll see. Same time, 0200 UTC. Maybe hit or miss depending on circumstances, but should be alright. You can follow me right here on Twitch if you wanna. There's emotes in it for you. You can follow me at Dubious Physics on Twitter. I've got a Discord, which I'll drop the link to in the chat. All the fancy plug things. I think that about covers it. Once again, thanks everyone for watching. It's been great. Do remember to take care of yourselves. You are absolutely worth it, and I hope to see you folks in the future. This is Dubious Physics, signing off.